Whether you want to accept it or not, you're creating your own reality. If you can believe that statement, you have a hand in understanding that the things that you do are going to shape the things that you get. You might not be able to do it all directly, and it might not happen immediately after doing a specific thing, but it does shape it. And if you weren't wanting to believe that, you'd be thinking that there is something external that is shaping your reality. And by choosing that something outside of you is dictating your reality, you have made the choice that then dictates your reality. If you were to look at two people in the exact same scenario, and one person believed that they could find a solution, and the other person believed that they couldn't, the person who believed that they could most likely would be able to find a solution. They'd at least find one quicker, or they'd attempt more things to find out if they can find the solution for those things. The person outside of that is believing in things that they can't do, that they will wait, they will hope, they will trust that there is something outside of them that can help them. And when we think about the luck that you would need for that to happen, you would be relying on somebody like the first person, that they are going to look for an answer and not stop until they find it. Most of the behaviors that you think about when it comes to higher agency have to do with the way that you're interpreting information. That in the things that you do, they have an effect, and those effects will shape the rest of what you are going to see. If you come across a problem and say, there's no way that this can be solved, from your point of view, it's not going to be solved. And the person who believes that there could be a solution, even if they don't find one immediately, they will have hardened the trait and the skill of looking for it, which even if in this specific case, they can't find a solution, in all of the cases after this one, they have now built up the skill of finding a solution where they will be more likely to find solutions in the future. When you think about higher agency, having high agency, it isn't really positive. It's very neutral. It's more just outcome driven. That you can accept the things that are going to happen, but you will accept them if it was based on efforts that you put in, because you can't control everything. You have a say in how your mindset is, in how you react to things, in the way that you can look for answers. These are all choices that you're able to make. The people who have lower agency, they will use that energy in other ways, and most of those ways are inaction. The inaction is what carries over into most parts of their life. It's very difficult to find someone who has low agency in one specific thing and high agency in another. It transfers throughout the person because it's a viewpoint of who they are. It ends up being a set of different skills and traits that make up their personality. And that is whether you believe in trying to create your own reality or not. If you were to take an example of going out with your friends, you're at dinner, everybody's talking, somebody brings up the idea of going on a trip. Everybody's super excited, nobody's ever been to this new country, thinking about all the things that you can do and the places that you can see and all of the fun that you're gonna have. The high agency person in that group is immediately going to be looking for flights. They're going to be looking for hotels. They're going to start asking, when is it that we can go? We should go around this time. The flights at this time are saying that they're going to be this amount of money. Somebody with low agency is going to begin looking for reasons not to go, that they were able to find the enjoyment in talking about it, but not so much so to actually do the thing. This is regardless of how many available resources you have. Person with high agency who doesn't have money will say, I can't pay for it, but I'll figure it out. The person with low agency who could have all of the resources will find the excuses that they don't know if they can get the time off. They don't know if that time of the year is good for them. They're not sure about how long it would be for them to be off work. All of the things that are plausible, but not necessary at that stage, because if they wanted to go, they would figure it out. If it was money, you can understand the scenario of somebody saying, I will figure out how to make this happen, versus the person who says, I'm not even going to attempt to make this happen. With whatever is available, you have options. And those options don't necessarily make it easier for you. If you do have more resources, like in this example, it is easier for you to say yes, but it doesn't make it impossible for you to say yes, even if you don't have them. You just have to put a little bit more effort in. And a lot of people who deal with not being able to build their high agency have been trying to in smaller attempts, but haven't built the resilience of dealing with the failures or the difficulty in doing things that may be easier for somebody else than it would be for them. Because at the end of the day, all of these things are obstacles. That if you have something that you want to do and there's not a direct path, the low agency person expects the path to be direct and obvious. And the person with higher agency, not only is it expecting to be difficult, but these are things that they're looking at as milestones, that when they work around this one, they will be farther along and can see what the next obstacle is going to be ahead of them. This also means that they're not coming in surprised, that I may not know all of the information immediately, but I know this piece of information, and with that, there are options that I can think about. Somebody with low agency is not thinking about those. They're worrying about them. They know that this is a possibility, and moreover, this isn't the only possibility. There's a far worse one that's coming into my head, but I'm not going to look for a solution. I'm just going to think about that possibility. The low agency person isn't trying to figure it out. They're waiting for the thing to happen and then have to react to whatever that thing is. Whereas the high agency person is preparing. They have this amount of information. Not only do they not know when they're going to get the rest of the information, they don't know if they'll get the rest of the information. And that information might not always be relevant. If you're waiting to react to something, you have wasted the time in between of trying to find a possible solution, because you have learned that if I can't create my reality, I'm going to wait for reality to create the situation in which then I will have to do something when I'm not best prepared. This is usually why you find people with low agency having trouble building their confidence, because they are waiting for the confidence to be built for them to have it. The agency that you have also means that you have control over the traits that you want to build. That if in the back of your mind you say, I would like to be this way, but I'm not that type of person, you're not supposed to be that type of person. But it doesn't mean that you have to be that type of person to have the ability to become that type of person. And the beauty of the agency is at any moment in time, you can begin building it. Now, whether you have low or high agency doesn't matter so much until you actually accept the responsibility of it, because it is hard. You have to put the blame on yourself. And you also have to look for the opportunities of where you can put the blame on yourself. The person with high agency wants the blame, because those are the opportunities of identifying the things that they could have done better, because when they do them better, they have a higher chance of finding success in whatever it is. There may be two people in a relationship who got into a fight because of a miscommunication. It could be nobody to blame, it could be both people to blame, but the person with higher agency is going to be more likely to take that blame, because if they can and they identify with whatever that miscommunication is, they're probably going to be the person who ensures that that doesn't happen in the future. And we can think about our ego and our pride and all of the things that don't really serve us well in relation to the higher agency. But when you care about those things more than the traits that are actually going to move you further, you are saying that I care more about these things, the pride and the ego, so much so that this may happen in the future, and we are going to have this fight in the future, where you're no longer caring about your future self or putting your future self in a better position for you. And the people with the higher agency understand that I don't want this to happen again. Even if the fight is nonsensical, it takes up mental weight in places that you could otherwise be putting it. And that mental weight could also just be enjoyment, where if you take the responsibility of not having that fight in the future, not only do you save yourself the mental energy of getting into that fight, but it also ensures that in the future, instead of it just not being a fight, it could be a situation where you're now having fun. The way to frame any of these situations to begin building higher agency is to stop asking the why question. Why is this happening? More just saying, what is it that I can do in this situation? What are the opportunities here? What are the things that I know right now? And with that information, what is it that I can do to help the situation? How do I put myself in a best situation possible, knowing the things that I know now? And what is it that everybody else is not seeing that I should be able to identify? When you ask the why questions, you're throwing it into the void. You're asking a question that nobody is going to find a solution. And even if there was an answer to that why question, it's most likely not going to help you. The what questions are things that you can answer yourself, though. Just flipping the idea of what it is that you want to say when you are reacting is going to help you react differently. Because most of those initial reactions, you don't get a say in. If you are reacting to something that you didn't expect, whatever happens is going to happen. But after that, you have the choice of reframing whatever that thing is to do it in a way that is going to help you and serve you in a better way into the future. Now, the difficulty is trying to capture this in real time to say, when there are scenarios where higher agency is going to benefit you more, how do we make sure that you catch those? And it comes to the reacting of anything that you know you need to figure out. That if there's something going on at work or in your personal life or socially, and there's some situation where something is not going the way that you would want it to go, what is it that you can do immediately? It's, as we said, identifying the why questions, thinking about what the things are that you're able to do, and from there, starting to do those things, to have the action. The issue that most people look at when it comes to serving themselves is that they're choosing the thing that they want over the thing that they need in a given moment. That you know you should go to the gym, but at this moment, I'm very comfortable in my bed. It's not that you need to be in your bed, it's just that you want to be in your bed, and right now it makes more sense to do that over getting up and doing something a lot harder. Identifying that you have to do those things makes it so knowing that the thing that is going to put you in a better position in the future is the thing that should carry more weight. And you don't even need to listen to either of them. If you know that the thing is more important, you drag your mind with your body. That getting into the action is much more important than thinking about the action, about planning for the action. Any of those things that are not physically doing the thing that you need to do are far less important. And it doesn't go for the habits that you know you need to do. It goes for stopping the things that are hurting you. If you say that, I want to decompress after work, so I'm going to doom scroll or watch TV for an hour and a half. Over the next 6 months, will you feel decompressed? Will you feel less stressed by doing those things overall? Probably not. You'll just harden the habits of what you've already done, which is fine. You should have some space for that. You should not create the rules in your mind to say, it is after work, so now I'm going to do this because I have said that this is what I deserve. What you deserve is to build something in the future where you don't have to do that at work. How can we set ourselves up for 6 months into the future where this is not the thing that you believe you have to default to because you have now set it as a rule? Identifying those things and the long-term impacts of them are going to be the ways that you can get into action immediately. Because the thought of you saying, I want to build this skill, I want to do this thing, may be nice for a moment, but over the next 6 months, over the week to week of you thinking about these things, putting yourself into the position of actually doing those things gives you a lot more progress than being the most prepared person before actually doing those things. It's to say that the person who has failed at 10 businesses and the 11th business started getting profitable is much, much more educated than the professor of business who has never actually started a business. The things in theory are good. It's nice to know them. Putting them into practice is very different. To put them into practice and to learn from failures is a skill that you need to experience. It is not something that can just be taught to you from a thought experiment, from a practical exercise, from something that is not actually in something that you have to deal with ramifications. Putting yourself into action, the smallest step possible into the action is what gets you to start building the higher agency. From reframing the situations to actually doing the thing that needs to be done is how you start moving from a lower agency to a higher agency. The mindset is very important, but to actually create your reality, you have to create. You physically have to do something to that so it can become the reality. You can think about these things, you can plan around them, you can research them, but that doesn't innately mean that you have done anything. So you don't need to control everything. You don't need to expect that you have everything in your control. The only expectation you have to have is that if I can believe that the things that I do will shape what I want out of my life, I'm going to be more likely to begin doing those things. Because if I don't, I'm reinforcing the reasons why my reality is what it is today.